All right, what's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another installment of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, Grubbin' is tasting. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Want to start it out with a big apology. Sorry if y'all tuned in last week and missed the show. We had some issues with Facebook Live, some technical difficulties. Missed recording the show. Weren't able to put it on YouTube as well. But we got that all squared up, and we got a great show in store for tonight, man. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start it out with that word of the day. If you've never tuned in, basically what we do is Lawrence, my producer, is going to throw a word up here. Every time I say that word during tonight's show, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say it's age appropriate as well. If you're under the age of 21, you want to play along and you're watching, get Kool-Aid, some sweet tea, Coca-Cola, Red Bull, whatever it may be. Every time I say the word of the day, make sure you take a sip, y'all. So last week's word, even though we didn't get to play along, was dirt. Man, I can promise you, being a dirt race at Bristol, I said that probably 20, 30 times. Be glad we couldn't tune in, man. Y'all would have been tore up on a Wednesday, man. But tonight's word is going to be, I have no idea. Lawrence is going to throw it up there. But every time I say it, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult beverage, y'all. So, hey, we're going to get right into that NASCAR news. We're going to start it out, man. I want to start it out with my deep, heartfelt condolences and prayers out there to the Pemberton family. Randy Pemberton passed away there this past Saturday. Man, his family has been a staple in this sport forever. I tell you what, we lost a good one, such an ambassador in NASCAR, but I do want to start it out. Thoughts and prayers go out there to the family, y'all. Quick healing. So, moving right in, man, hey, if y'all watched the race Sunday, you already know the Candy Man, Mr. Kyle Busch himself, came home with that victory somehow. I don't even know how he pulled it off, but he got it done. We're going to touch base on that just a little bit further in the show, but Kyle Busch got him a win, man. Hey, Jeffrey Earnhardt, more big news. Jeffrey Earnhardt, grandson of the late, great Dale Sr., is going to be racing at Talladega in the Xfinity car in the number 3, man. So this is going to be bringing it back for sure right here. Not only do we have an Earnhardt in the number 3, we also got Larry McReynolds on top of the box. Man, I'm hoping nothing but the best for him. If they can somehow come out and pull the win out there in that 3 car with an Earnhardt driving it at Talladega, man, you talking about some big NASCAR moves right there. A lot of doors going to open, man. A lot of history be made. So, speaking of Earnhardts, we got Dale Jr. set to be back in the booth for Fox broadcast. If you've been watching over the past few years after he retired, you know he signed the deal with NBC. He comes on pretty much halfway through the season, somewhere in there a little bit later on, does NBC broadcast week in and week out with Letard and Burton. But hey, man, those two networks got together, worked the deal out. Dale Jr. is going to go call this race at Talladega there. Man, that's a huge move. That guy right there is a living legend at Talladega. I mean, I think he's got six wins. Let me see what I got written down. Oh, man, 6 wins there, I'm pretty sure, and 4 in a row, 4 straight at Talladega. Dude, I don't know when the last time we saw a guy dominate restrictor plate racetrack like that. So big shout out to Dale Jr. as well. Excited to see him up in the booth, man. All right, here's something. Kevin Harvick and Hailie Deegan call for NASCAR to shorten races. So here's my nice fine opinion on that. First off, Hailie Deegan races pretty much the short NASCAR regulated big boy series races you can race in the truck series. So those aren't going to get any shorter. Cup Series races don't need to be any shorter as well. We already took a human element out, I feel like, on the pit stop, going from those lugs down to 1. We've done some things throughout the year to take some human element air out of it. And this is one thing that I enjoy. You got to be on it as a crew. You got to be on it as a team to set that car up for 400 or 500 miles, which a lot of them are. Not as many as what we used to race, but there's a lot of them that are still 400 or 500 mile races out there. So with that being said, I don't want to see NASCAR shorten not one lick of the race. I think it's amazing. Yeah, we get a caution-filled race. It lasts a little long. I don't care. You get a touchdown-filled football game. It lasts a long time, too. If it goes into OT, it lasts a while. So don't try to take anything away from us NASCAR fans due to y'all's fact of not wanting to be behind the wheel, man. You sign the contract. You sign up for it. You know what the big boys do. Be a big boy. Pull the britches up, tighten the belts, go racing, man. That's it. Do want to give a big shout out there, y'all. If you have not yet, please go like, share, follow all our social media out there. You can find Rubbin' and Grubbin' in the Twitterverse. You can find us on Instagram. You can definitely go check out, like, share, follow, and subscribe our YouTube channel, man. That is the bread and butter. I say it all the time. the more eyes we get on the show, the more money hopefully we get donated up here to Coach's Corner and all the charitable events we do. That is the main reason I love this. One, I get to talk about NASCAR, but two, I get to raise a little bit of money for a good cause, man. So at the end of the day, that's my favorite thing. Like I said, like, share, follow, all that social media. Definitely make sure you go check out that YouTube channel. And as always, you can catch us live right here at Coach's Corner Sports Network on the Facebook Live feed, 6 until I run out of words or breath, which most of the time it's words. But at the end of the day, thank you guys for tuning in. Love all the support, man. All right, question right here I got to ask y'all. Should we be racing on dirt? If you've tuned into this show over the last 3 years, you already know how I feel about my opinion in NASCAR racing on dirt. This is just one thing I feel like we shouldn't be doing. Not that I don't enjoy dirt racing, because I do. Not that I don't enjoy watching the Cup Series cars run on dirt. I do. I just think, in my eyes, you're taking away a better race there at Bristol to turn around and have it run on dirt at Bristol. So I think NASCAR's got some tweaking to do in the next few years. I think they got something they definitely need to figure out and find out. I know the TV ratings were great this past one. I get it. Easter Sunday, everybody got something they want to love watching. It was very exciting. But to me, you're taking away one of the better races of the year for a race that's pretty good in itself, but not as good as the concrete, I would say, traditionally, man. So, hey, a lot of drivers voiced their opinions. We heard a lot of guys, even dirt car guys like Kyle Larson, going, hey, man, if we're not going to do this, we're not going to take the windshields out, we need to do this. If we're not going to prep it right, and Kevin Harvick crying about it, so be it, yada, yada, we need to do this. So, in my eyes, I think it's a fine balance of just finding something that works for NASCAR. There again, I think we're trying too many new things at once. I think we need to reel it back in, get rid of the dirt, go back to the true Bristol. You want to do dirt on Bristol? Do it at an all-star race, man. The logistics of it, y'all figure it out. Y'all got money. Bruton Smith got plenty of money. If it costs $10 million to do it instead of $2 million, and that's what you want to do, then pay it, man. But unfortunately to me, I just think NASCAR, there shouldn't be as many road courses. There shouldn't be a dirt race. And God forbid if I ever see a street race in NASCAR. It's just something that should not happen. I get it. We're trying to appeal to the youth. But at the end of the day, we got to stop it before it gets out of control, man. So, hey, want to give a big shout out there to my boy Parker Eccles over there at Arbor Man Tree Service, one of my main sponsors here outside of Coach's Corner for rubbing and grubbing. Love the man. If you guys are out there looking any kind of tree service you need, as I always say, give Parker a call, man. You'll see that number strolling on the screen tonight. Locally owned, locally operated. The guy is awesome. Hey, it doesn't matter if it's, cutting down a whole tree, some limbs being trimmed back, stump grinding, whatever it may be, man, give Parker a call. He'd be more than happy, even if you don't know what you need, to come out and give you a free estimate and go, hey, you might want to do this, you're good here. Guy's honest, awesome dude. Love you, brother. Can't wait, man. I got to give you a call here. I ain't forgot about you. I got to call you, man. But, hey, with that being said, as I always say, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Make sure you give Parker a call over there at Arbor Man Tree Service, man. Like I said, you're going to see it scrolling on the screen all night long, y'all. So moving right into my favorite segment we do on the show. This is the main reason, as I alluded to earlier, why I do this. Checkered flag for charity, man. So there again, if it's the first time watching the show, basically what we do at Rubbin' and Grubbin' is we find a charity every year, whether it be Coach's Corner, whether it be somebody we know personally and local that needs some help. We raise money for them through our events that we do here, and we help them out. So this year, we're doing it for a dear friend of mine and Lindsay. Miss Pacey Thompson out there lost her mother earlier this year, a sudden death in the family. We're doing this year with all the patrons here at Coach's Corner and everybody that's involved. Y'all support, raising for an educational fund for this little girl. She's got a long way to go in her life, man. We want to make sure she succeeds and is the most successful she can be, man. So what we do is every single week, we throw the money in. I hadn't said a swear word yet tonight, but hey, what the hell, man. We're going to go ahead and throw it in there. Boom, right there, baby, my swear bucket. We'll throw $1 in. Every single week, whatever car number wins that race, we make sure we donate that money into our swear bucket for Checkered Flag for Charity. So we topped it off last week there again, threw that money in. If y'all watched the race, you already know the Candy Man himself won. We don't ever throw under the 20. So anything under Christopher Bell, man, we always throw the 20 in. 18 won. That's another 20 going in. That brings our grand total up to $1,085. And we're through. This will be the 10th race of the season coming up, man. So at the end of the day, This is all possible because of the people and patrons here at Coach's Corner, also our viewers on our YouTube and viewers that watch every week. Y'all's donations is what makes this go around. So as I say all the time, if you're ever at Coach's, man, which is a great place, you got to come up, say, hey, I want to round it up to Checkered Flag for Charity, $5 donation. Talk to a waitress, talk to a waiter, talk to your bartender. Hell, if you see John and Adele Henderson stopping by in there, talk to them. They're going to make sure that money goes to the right place, y'all. And it's always greatly appreciated. So there again, like I said, make sure you tune in right here. You're going to keep up with that total. And anytime you come to Coach's and feel like doing a feel good for the day, make sure you donate. As I say all the time, y'all, nothing. Hey, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, doesn't matter what you got to give. Make a donation for that cause. It all stays local right here in the Savannah area, man. So big kudos to y'all. Big pat on the back out there for y'all, man. So moving right into that second favorite segment, and that's the who's hot and who's not, man. We're going to talk about who's turning in the right direction in my eyes, who's going backwards, who's not so hot, whether it be NASCAR, whether it be a driver comment, whether it be a driver action, man. So we're going to get into the who's hot. And I tell you what, they've been on the who's not a couple times this year, and they hadn't quite won the way I thought they were going to win, right? They got one sole win so far this year. But I tell you what, Team Penske is turning in the right direction, man, especially after the Bristol dirt race. 2 of those 3 drivers having top 5 finishes. We already got one of them that won the Daytona 500. Ryan Blaney's leading the playoff series points right now. Logano's inside that top 5. Man, I tell you what, Penske is quietly good this year, man. Very consistent. They've had a lot of speed. You're going to have to wait and see who I take to win this week at Talladega, but you can guarantee there's going to be a Penske car or 2 inside that top 5. Man, those guys are just too good at super speedway racing, and a couple of them is pretty much some of the best that we have in the sport right now. So pay attention when we get later on in this segment here and who's in that top 5, man. But, hey, Kyle Busch makes the hot list, man, due to the fact that he got a win right there and made a little piece of history. Look, I'm never going to take nothing away from him. Y'all know the Candy Man. It's my favorite driver out there, not my cup of tea when it comes to a personality, but I tell you what, the man knows how to win. 60 career wins in the Cup Series. Not only that, goes out and makes a piece of NASCAR history, tying Richard Petty with 18 straight seasons with a win. So at 36, almost 37 years old, I can promise you there's not going to be a thing that Kyle Busch is not going to break. Richard Petty's record is going to be broken next year. You can mark it up. Kyle Busch will win a race. That'll be 19, the longest streak of all time, man. So he makes the hot list. And not to mention, I tell you what, man, it looked like there earlier in the season he had a win wrapped up. He held Truex off. Didn't quite fold his way, didn't fall his way. He lost that one, but he got a win here, which really he kind of stole in a way. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well, man. And you know I can't leave my main man, the 9 car, Mr. Chase Elliott, off this hot list. Reading regular season in points, doesn't have a win yet this season. Getting top 10 finishes, top 7 finishes week in and week out, getting those stage points, man. I tell you what, Chase is leading those regular season points, second in the playoff standings without a win. So ironically, we have 2 guys that hadn't won a race yet that are leading those points. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on. I expect these guys both to have multiple wins this season. You can guarantee that it's going to happen for the 9 car. It's not a matter of where, it's a matter of when, right? So it's coming, y'all. So 9 camp, great position to win a championship, great position to go out and win some races as well, man. So watch out for the 9. So who's not? Now, I went into this a little bit earlier, and I'm going to say it again. Bristol dirt, it is not my forte, man. It cannot go without saying that it is neat, and it's unique, and it's one of a kind, and fans love it, and people that don't really tune into NASCAR week in and week out love it. Hey, it's awesome to watch. Don't get me wrong, it was an awesome show. Not necessarily just the whole format, the more dirt style, this and that. Now, with that being said, a lot of downfalls, as I alluded to earlier. To me, as a NASCAR fan that's been watching for, 31 years now, 32 years, man, I tell you what, to me, NASCAR racing is not dirt. I know it used to be. It's where the roots laid. Hey, man, but it's not anymore. We're all asphalt concrete. I'll accept the road courses. I'll suck that up. I'll take that. But what the hell, man? We got to figure out some better ways to involve the youth. And I feel like with the youth movement as drivers in the sport, shit, man. I mean, I don't know what more you can possibly honestly do other than sit there and put their eyes and bring them to the sport. Either going to like it or they're not, man. But I think there's a lot of other things out there again, we can do outside of this dirt race. If you want to do dirt, do an all-star race at Bristol, man. Figure out the logistics, make it happen. Like I said earlier, to me, One of the coolest things I would like to see is maybe some of these dates or tracks that lost 2 dates get a date back. Or maybe let's move around some of these playoff tracks. We've been set on these tracks for how many years? Yeah, we moved Phoenix there at the end instead of Homestead, Miami, and changed dates on that. But hey, man, I'm thinking a brand new Atlanta. Let's see in Atlanta in the chase, man. Let's move that into early, October sometime there, man. I'd love that. The weather's great there in October. And there again, I say we'll one-up that, as I've been saying for 2 weeks, man. Let's run a super speedway package in the spring, and when it comes down to that chase, let's cut them loose with a 670, man. Let's cut them loose with that high horsepower, low downforce, man. Let's see what that is. Same racetrack, 2 different style racings out of the same car. So just something to think about. I'm throwing ideas, NASCAR, if you out there watching, man. I know those TV ratings were astronomically through the roof, but at the day, I've been involved in this sport for 31 as a fan. Dirt's not a place for it. They're going to make the cold list on that, man. All right. So we're going to get into one right here that's probably going to hurt some people's feelings. They're going to be like, why this way, why that way? We all know how I feel about certain things. Chase Briscoe is going to make the cold list, man. And this is just for the simple fact, it has nothing to do with him personally, nothing to do with him as a driver, nothing to do with even the way he ran that Bristol race, because I tell you what, he was one of the only few cars that the bottom and the top, this man was making work of it. I mean, he was dominating and drove up through the field, fell backwards, leading the race, cut a tire, went to the back, came back up through, had to go back again, came all the way back up through there with a shot late. And we're going to talk a little bit more of this later on, but cost the 8 of my man Tyler Reddick big time, man. So I've got some more stuff to talk about it, but Chase Briscoe going to make the cold list for the move that he made late. That's just my personal opinion about it, and we're going to discuss why in just a little bit, y'all. Moving right into that Bristol recap. Hey, man, Cole Custer started from the pole in that 41 out of those heat races. I tell you what, nobody probably believed that was going to happen. Didn't last too long. Once it got going green, didn't last too long at all. But a big shout out there to Cole Custer, man, for getting that pole in Stewart Haas Racing, man. That's a great place to put his sponsor up there starting that race on Easter Sunday in the 41 car, man. So, hey, track changed all night, which I think was awesome. It changed. We never saw it really get too dusty. Multi-groove, the top would be working, the bottom would come in, back to the top. Guys are driving the middle. I tell you what, it's a very exciting race, man. I'm not downfalling the race. I just don't think there's a place for dirt in NASCAR. But pit strategy and tuning came in key. We saw so many guys throughout the night come in and work on those cars and this and that and lose some track position, which honestly, track position was king there all night. It seemed like if you were out front and you had a good car, you could stay out front. But I tell you what, man, by the way, the outlaying and the way that they run that race would definitely fit an all-star race way better than a point-paying race. Just saying with that. But we're going to move on to the next thing, man. Larson looked good early, man. 14 of Briscoe looked good, as well as a 20 of Christopher Bell. So there again, a lot of dirt guys finally showed up this year compared to last year. But we also saw a lot of those drivers adapt as they do and move into it. Like I said, numerous things are changing this year. We saw guys shifting on dirt at Bristol. Chase Briscoe was one of the main ones shifting in the turns on dirt at Bristol. So these are all moves and things that a lot of these older guys that grew up racing asphalt or raced asphalt have to learn. So I'm not going to down them, but I tell you what, pretty exciting, but it's got to be something they get rid of in my eyes, man. Hey, Tyler Reddick found himself with a late lead with 1 turn remaining. As I said, we're going to talk about this. Mr. Chase Briscoe in that 14, man, took a dive bomb there for the first Cup Series win. Man, I tell you, we had him in a money line. We had him with a money bet. All I needed was one more turn, and we were going to take home a little bit more money there, but we did not, man. And as I said, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. I feel real bad for Tyler Reddick going for that first career Cup Series win. The kid is a phenomenal talent. He's even a better human being, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit, man, so stay tuned. Kyle Busch, an amazing charge to the front. I told you I might talk a lot of trash about this guy right here. But at the end of the day, man, he did what he had to do. Hey, as a non-dirt racer, drove really well up through the field, found himself in a really good position late, and as he likes to say, backed into one, right? We talked about some guys that backed into some wins in their career, where I can tell you the 60th career will always go down in Kyle Busch's career as being backed into, because he damn sure didn't earn that one, I promise you. Right place, right time, and sometimes that's all it takes. Win is a win, right? That's what he said in his interview. I want to hear those same words come out when you dominate one and lose to an Allen Alex Bowman again. I don't want to hear nothing, no boohoo crying bitching, because that's what he likes to do about any of that, man. So kudos to Kyle Busch. Good win there, but I don't want to hear nothing on the back end of it for sure, man. Getting right into that Talladega, we're back at a wild one. We don't know what to expect. We got a brand new race car. Hadn't been on Talladega yet, group racing. Man, I tell you what, these boys are going to put on a show. This is one you definitely do not want to miss on Sunday. Make sure you tune in not only to Saturday's race to see some history made with the Earnhardt back in the 3, but tune in on Sundays, man, because you're going to see an awesome, amazing race coming out of there at Talladega. We all know how wild those can be, man. Like I said, glad to see Dale Jr. back in the booth. We'll say that one more time there at Talladega. I mean, like I said, great career, 6 wins there, 4 in a row. The man dominated Talladega for so many years. I don't think we've seen a streak like that since. So keep an eye out on that, man. Anyone's game at Talladega. I'll tell you like this. We're going to talk about it a little bit here coming up in the next couple segments. But this is one, if you want to go look for a dark horse and make a big money bet for a big hit, this is the one to go and do it. Now, not saying you're going to win, but this is probably going to be one of the best opportunities you got all year long to cash in on a far deep guy in the field, man. So keep an eye out for that as well, man. Top 5. Look, I don't follow the odds on Vegas. I make this list every Sunday before they even come out, but I will tell you this. It's no surprise to me that Ryan Blaney is going to be number 1 on my list, as well as those Vegas odds, man. I think that when you talk about a young guy that's got super speedway racing figured out, Ryan Blaney's got to be one of the first names that you comes to mind, man, so that you talk about. So I'm going to take the 12 car there at Talladega to come lock down the first win of the 2022 season, get that off of his back, but he's going to have a strong car. Watch out for the 12 all day long at Dega, y'all. 2 for me, another guy. There again, they're first and second in both sides of the points. Hadn't got a win yet this year, Chase Elliott. We saw him do it, I think it was in the fall last year. We saw him come home. Obviously, it takes a teammate. It takes somebody to get you there. It takes smart strategy, keeping your nose clean, not being caught up in one of the big wrecks or a wreck, period. So there again, I'll take Chase Elliott, Mr. Consistency this season, to come home with that win at number 2 on the list. 3 for me, Joey Logano, man. I told you a couple Penske cars are going to be in that list. The 22 car, after a good showing at Bristol, one of the best there again to go out and do it here at Talladega. We saw him go for a ride, whether it was in the spring or in October of last year. We saw him go for a ride, but I tell you what, the 22 has the best chance of going out as winning as any other car in that field. Keep an eye out for Logano as well on Sunday, y'all. Now, here's surprising. A guy that we talk about being a really good restrictor plate racer, and he's won there, but he's also won at Daytona a lot, and that's Denny Hamlin. I look for Denny Hamlin after having a couple, somewhat weeks, bad weeks there, really bad week at Martinsville, especially for Denny's record. We're coming into something that he knows how to do, a little bit easier on him. I think that the 11 is going to have a really good run there at Talladega. Honestly, could go out and win it, even more so than the 3 guys in front of him. So this is one that, like I say, you can put 38 guys, however many guys are in the race in a bucket like this, reach in and draw one, and you got just as good a shot, man, if it comes up. So, we'll take the 11-4 there. 5 for me, first multi-winner of the season, a guy that there again I think has got a restrictor plate win a couple years ago at the summertime race at Daytona. Hey, that's Mr. Willie the Kid Byron, William Byron himself in that 24 car, man. We all know 24 is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I think William Byron's got some things definitely moving for him this year. Simulating racing is definitely paying off. You're seeing it pay dividends. The guy's not a bad restrictor plate racer. I tell you what, I'm going to make a bet right now. Anybody, I'll be here Saturday doing a raffle at this Pink Floyd Interstellar Echoes concert right here in the Sound Garden. I tell you what, I'm going to make a bet that says William Byron is probably going to be sitting on the front row for this Talladega race coming up. I'll say that. I'm going to put William Byron on the front row. I tell you what, if he doesn't, and you're the first one that comes up and says, hey, I'll watch Coach's Corner Facebook Live on Wednesday, rubbing and grubbing, and he did not win that poll, you're going to get to go home that night, Saturday night, y'all, for that Interstellar Echo. You're going to get to go home with a rubbing and grubbing 2022 edition t-shirt, man. Coaches on the sleeves, Arbor Man on the sleeves. On top of that, I'm going to throw in a couple of those rubbing and grubbing koozies as well for y'all. So, like I said, you heard it here first. William Byron going to sit on the front row. Doesn't have to be first or second. William Byron on that front row for this Talladega race. If I'm wrong, first person that mentions it Saturday night coming for that concert, t-shirt and koozie for you, man. Hey, moving right into those dark horses, I'm going to tell you like this. They're not too dark. we saw one of them win the Daytona 500, and that's the 2 car of Mr. Austin Cindric. Great piece of equipment. He showed at Daytona he can survive, put himself in the right position. Wouldn't surprise me to see him double up there on restrictor plates for the year. Now this one is not going to go too dark. We're not going to get too deep, but it's a guy that's in different equipment, one of the best to ever do it there at Talladega again, and that's Mr. Bad Brad Keselowski. If there is a Keselowski fan out there since he moved to Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing and you want to see your driver win, this weekend is the one to go out and put the bet on him, man. You got to do it if you're a Keselowski fan. This would be the easiest one for him to go out and win, in my opinion. So, moving right into this money bet. Now, I did something a little different this week, which I don't normally do. Normally, I give one guy. This week at Talladega, I gave a few, depending on what kind of tiers you're looking at, right? If you're just going in looking for a guy that's deep in the field, that's got good equipment, that can probably go out and win but make you a good little chunk of change, my honest opinion is going to be the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., y'all. Not the best restrictor plate racer. It seems like trouble seems to find him. But the last odds I looked at have this man at 30-1. 30-1 in a Gibbs car, man? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. So if you're looking for a real long shot, I'll go out there and say that. Now, you looking at another guy, we'll say mid-pack. Not greatest odds, not the baddest odds. They got William Byron listed at 18-1. So, I mean, hey, there again, 24 cars got 2 wins, and he's that far back, almost 18-1 odds? Come on, man. You got to do that. So that's like a mid-level bet, right? Now, if you're just looking, like I said, to go out there and make some money and try to double up a little something, like I said, Ryan Blaney's the favorite. I'm going to take Ryan Blaney's who I'm betting my money on for the win. Guaranteed you're going to see that man up front contending. Does he win it? I don't know. But in my heart, I feel like this is going to be the first win for that 12 car of the year, man. So keep an eye out for Ryan Blaney. Going to give it hell there on Sunday at Talladega, man. And the 12 car is going to be that one that you play for the win there at Talladega this weekend, man. So that's going to wrap it up. Excuse me, y'all, for the rubbing. Oh, man, we got a little hidden gem back here. We are rubbing tonight. And tonight it is a little chilly, man. It is a little running, and no pun intended. But we do have a famous bowl of that Coach's chili, man. And I tell you what, this stuff is absolutely amazing. Onions, cheese, meats, man, they load it up. I'm going to throw some sour cream and crackers in this when I get off here. I'm tearing this up, y'all. If you've never had it from here, I highly recommend getting the chili. It goes amazing on everything that they sell here, man. I put it on burgers. I put it on dogs, usually for Martinsville, which will be coming up in the fall. But great chili, man. I say it all the time. Coach's Corner, if you hadn't been here yet, you got to be sleeping under a rock. But I want to give them a big shout out to Mr. John and Adele Henderson. Those two people do a lot for us, not only me and the show, but a lot of folks here at Coach's Corner. Some of the most hospitable people you're ever going to meet in your life, man. So much for local charities, so much for people and patrons here. So got to give them a shout out. But if you hadn't been here yet, you've been living under a rock. It's right here in Thunderbolt, Georgia, man. You got to check out Coach's Corner. Great food, great friends, great times, great drinks, man. Everything is great about Coach's. The best live music spot in Savannah. I will continue to say it. The Soundgarden, which you see me on, they put on some of the best shows right here Friday and Saturday night. And this Saturday, there's a good one. You got Interstellar Echoes coming up, Charlie Fogg on Friday night. I'm telling you, if you have not seen a concert yet here at Coach's Corner, you got to make sure you come out and check the Soundgarden out. I'll be here live in person with my wife. Lawrence is going to be here. John, I'm sure, is going to be here. The whole Coach's crew is going to be here. So make sure you come out and check that out, y'all. So do want to give a big shout out there again to Green White Checkered, ESPN Coastal 104.3. You can hear me and PJ Zuko and myself live every Sunday from 9 to 9:30 on ESPN Coastal's Facebook or 104.3 ESPN, man. Make sure you check that out. PJ does an amazing job putting that show on. Lawrence does a great job too. Don't take nothing from that. But hadn't quite yet, but there's going to be a couple this year. You're going to see me up here doing a lot of 12-ounce curls, as I like to call them. And we do get a little rowdy up here from time to time on the show. PJ, luckily enough, it's early Sunday morning. I work on Sundays. So we do that show, man. And he does a great job at it and getting that show out on time. Every Sunday, ESPN, Green, White, Checkered, 104.3. Make sure you tune in and check that out, man. Big shout out to all the coaches' shows as well. We got Coach Carl DeMasi coming to you live as always, this Wednesday with Who's on First Base, keeping you up to date, everything baseball, man. The man is a guru. He knows his stuff. You need a little piece of advice and some fantasy. You need some little betting odds. You need, hey, who's hot, who's not, who's trending right. We just got the season started, y'all. But I tell you what, Coach Carl is going to have you everything slayed out and laid out right there, man. So make sure you tune in to Who's on First Base coming up right after Rubbing and Grubbing very shortly, man. Also, Saturdays, right? Saturdays. I almost said Sundays. Saturdays, the Coach Carl DeMasi Sports Report live from right here at Coach's. I tell you what, I love Coach DeMasi. That man will keep you up to date on everything local and national sports-wise, covering from lacrosse to hockey to soccer. You got something you want him to talk about? Throw it in there on that show. Coach Carl will make sure he definitely talks about it. Been a staple here in the Savannah area for many years. Love Coach Carl DeMasi. Coach, love you, man. Hey, make sure you tune in to Hot Grits Podcast. Anywhere that you get to stream your podcast, man. Travis and Spencer do such a great, amazing job every single week. They keep you up to date on everything that's hot in sports. They're funny. They talk about some crazy stuff. If you tuned in to the 19th hole with the Herbs, you saw the picks. You saw Travis up there, man. Good folks. So make sure you tune in. Like I said, anywhere you stream your podcast, Hot Grits, man. 2 good shows, man. Couple weeks, as you know, 19th hole, that's a one-time-a-year deal from the Henderson Cabin. I'm trying to get both these boys talked into doing a little golf recap up here on Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons. They're here anyways. I mean, I tell them all the time, we all practically live here at Coach's. So you might as well go ahead and do it. We're going to see if I can't talk them in to at least getting it done for the majors, man. So maybe before we get into that next major, I'll have them talked into doing a little 2-day recap, who's hot, who's not, throwing some picks out there and breaking down some golf, man. But, hey, that's going to wrap it up for Rubbing and Grubbing tonight. I want to tell y'all thanks so much for tuning in. I love everybody that does it, man. As I say, the more folks that I can get to tune into this thing, the more money that we get raised for these charitable causes, man, and the bigger it gets. So thank you guys as always. I'm always going to say it. Hey, make sure you tune in. Hug your loved ones. Make sure you give them a big kiss, man. I hope everybody out there had a happy Easter. I had an amazing birthday with my amazing wife, Lindsay. She's not up here tonight, but hopefully I can talk her back into being next week, being the grubbing girl and bring me some food up here. But until next time, y'all, stay safe. Like I say, hug your loved ones. Wash your hands, y'all. Love y'all. I'm out. Outro.